Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited with the thought that we might actually be able to travel soon. And tonight we're talking about the Danube River Cruise and the UK tour, just to whet our appetites for next year. And we've got Hilary from Globus Brands to talk us through the itinerary for both of these.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kate. We're going to try and get through this. I was just explaining to Kate there's like some storm happening out near me. So we're going to keep fingers crossed and we're going to get through this presentation that the power doesn't go out. So thank you all for joining me, Kate. Thank you for having us. It's always lovely doing presentations with you. We have a wonderful relationship. I'm just going to turn off my camera, Kate, I think you are as well, just so you can focus on the presentation. And as Kate mentioned, we're just going to speak about the Danube as well as our tour in Scotland. So again, I'm just going to turn off my screen. We're going to start now. And I first want to start off with why the Globus family of brands with Avalon Waterways. So again, thank you all for joining us today. And of course, we are slowly starting to get out of this pandemic, which is fantastic. And we really believe that everyone deserves a sweet view. So really designed from the inside out. That's just... Here we go. Perfect. So when it comes to Avalon Waterways, over the last 10 years, river cruising has really grown, making waves within the travel industry. When it comes to the bodies of water, ships, cities, bigger isn't always better when it comes to river cruising out there on the waters. Avalon Waterways has led spacious, innovative, and award-winning suite ships. Our travelers enjoy a more intimate experience with an appealing crew to passenger ratio, which we'll speak about in the next few slides, as well as seamless dock and go sightseeing at the most welcoming of ports. So let's just go through the presentation here. Just a little bit about Avalon, and then, of course, Kate has mentioned she has a group with us that will go through the itinerary there. So when it comes to, again, Avalon Waterways, we have over 80 cruises on 10 rivers through 20 countries in Europe, Asia, South America, and Egypt. We have our legendary rivers from the North Sea to the Black Sea, from the English Channel to the Mediterranean Sea. Discover timeless tradition on beauty on the Rhine, the Danube, which your group is, and the Rhone, just to name a few. It's all about the outlook. We have, when our ships, we are 30% larger than the industry out there with our Avalon Suite ships. We have our feature Avalon Panorama Suites, as I mentioned, 30% larger than the industry standard. We have created a river cruise open air balcony, which the next slide will have a full open air picture there for you. With nothing between you and the view, we've mastered the art of blending luxury and comfort and now blurring between the lines inside and out. And again, we've actually just celebrated our 10th anniversary. This is our panorama suites here. Really, as I mentioned, open air balconies, really letting the outside in. And this is an 11x7 fully open air balcony. And we are the only company with the beds facing the view. You have to understand there's not much to look at when you're staring at a wall when history is all by the waters. So what Avalon Waterways has done, as I mentioned, we're 30% larger than the industry out there with our full open air balconies, is that all ships are built the same width and height. And this allows Avalon Waterways with our staterooms to have less passengers on board and more space as well. And then, of course, with our open air balconies, you, of course, do not lose space. It is a fully open air balcony, really letting the outside in, as I mentioned, with the beds facing the view, and really with the exterior balcony, again, not losing the space if the weather is too cold or too hot, or the weather's just right. Your entire stateroom becomes the balcony. And again, just another view. We have been voted by Cruise Critic #1 Avalon best cabins in river cruising in the last 4 years. And that is distinction comes from the editors who's really seen it all ship from ship in each and every river cruise line. So again, Avalon Waterways has been voted the best staterooms out there. So again, when it comes to river cruise ships, the same width, as I mentioned, fit through the navigation locks throughout Europe. And of course, our balconies are placed on the outside of the stateroom, which allows us to begin not losing that 30 square feet staterooms when you have that that balcony. You have to remember when understanding when you do have a balcony, that takes away from your staterooms as well. So just to show you an aerial view here as well, as I mentioned, the bed facing the view, 11 by 7 open air balcony, and which also allows us to have that larger bathroom as well. Speaking about bathrooms, this is our bathroom right here, marble bathrooms, L'Occitane products. This is where I kind of, when I'm doing a presentation in person, I kind of say, well, you know, what Avalon Waterways is all about the little things that we do. And this is one of the things that we do in the bathrooms is that we have a his and her a towel. Honey, you left the floor on the, honey, you left your towel on the floor. No, honey, you did. No, it's brown. Pick it up. Okay, fine. But again, it's the little things that Avalon Waterways does. When it comes to our lounges as well, as I mentioned, we have larger rooms, which means less can fit on a ship, which equals to less passengers. So we have ample space to really stretch out and enjoy your experience from the outdoor observation lounge, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, or one of our elegant panorama lounges where you are surrounded by endless views and changing scenic vistas. And again, don't worry because there are fewer passengers, as I mentioned, which again allows you ample room to enjoy on board. And when it comes to Avalon Waterways, you know, size is seismatic. It matters. We have 120 to 150 passengers. We are a 3-to-1 ratio, which means travelers have crew members easily and happily catering to their needs for every moment of every day. Again, when going through between 12-meter wide locks, Avalon Waterways floating boutique hotels hold an average of 150 passengers, and some are much smaller, as I mentioned, with our 120-unit ships. And then all in our Mekong, we have 18 staterooms, which accommodates 36 passengers as well. And of course, unlike ocean cruises, which offers the guests yourselves as a plethora of a large-scale onboard entertainment and activities, catering to hundreds of thousand guests, river cruisings are not built that way. Instead, river cruising itineraries are destination-focused with local guides who help travelers experience and connect with the world around them. And again, when it comes to Avalon Waterways as well, accommodating smaller groups of guests at a time, providing you an immersive and authentic experience. And of course, on river cruising, you are not at sea either. You don't get seasick. There's no cabin fever. Instead, river cruising wind and bend through the heart of the fascinating countries, providing a panoramic view of the old world, always within a few feet from shore. Or on a river vessel, travelers yourselves pass clifftop castles, hillside vineyards, ancient villages, and capital cities. So every day and every night, you have a quick and easy access to the ports of call, local hosts, immersive experiences, and you also even have health and medical professions when needed. So just to look at better is not always bigger. And of course, as I mentioned, our average ship size is 150 passengers when you're looking at a large ocean cruise of 3,000 passengers. Of course, more passengers means less intimate. And really looking at the deck space, Avalon Waterways, when you're looking, just imagine this a football field, putting your hands out and fully imagining trying to reach your next passengers. And, you know, right now we're talking about 6 feet apart. You know, when you travel, hopefully it won't be like that. We are slowly starting to travel again, as I mentioned, getting to see the world, are letting our dreams come true. But we're on one football field, approximately 150 passengers. When you're on an ocean cruise, you're looking at approximately 4 football fields with approximately 750 passengers per football field. So just looking at that picture right there, you can see, again, we have more space, less passengers on our ship. I was mentioning our crew to passenger ratio is 3-to-1 versus big cruising, which is 6-to-1. And again, we have 83 staterooms versus 1,500 staterooms as well. So again, Avalon Waterways, Globus family of brands, our #1 priority is always the health and safety of our passengers. We've just taken that one step further with our top priority, really leaving a little sparkle wherever you go to a whole new level. Avalon Waterways ships are subject to the highest safety and hygiene standards. We are a 5-star. So when it comes to Avalon Waterways, it's all about choice. And when you're sailing on an Avalon Waterways, whether you're traveling with a companion, a neighbor, you can be on the exact same itinerary and have a completely different experience. Again, we have 3 choices when it comes to Avalon Waterways. We have your classic, which is your must-see sites. For example, having a local guide, really bringing the destination to life only an Avalon Waterways can. Discovery, which is our engaging experience, learning to paint a Monet or Van Gogh, cooking classes, working on a farm. We really bring the destination to life in a unique and engaging way. And then, of course, we have our active excursions as well. And again, you do not need to be active to go on these excursions. They're just, again, more energetic excursions as well, more motion and action. Maybe jogging tour through Amsterdam, or a biking tour around Vienna, or even a canoe down the Danube, or maybe paddling down the Rhine. Again, really bringing the up and go for those who really like to do the same as well. So when it comes to Avalon Waterways, as I mentioned, you'll always have a choice. We are an all-suite ship. Our average age is 8 years. We do not refurbish or rebuild our ships. We only build new ships. And really it comes to the little things that Avalon Waterways has as well. We have our club lounge, which has our Lavazza coffees. We have our upscale bar, premium spirits, our countertop, marble countertops, which I had showed you in our bathrooms as well. Plushes stuffed towels with our L'Occitane bath products. And then I've got, again, really maintaining the style. We have the state-of-the-art fitness center, free bicycles at use of select ports, bubbling whirlpool on the sky deck awaiting your return as well. When it comes also to dining, we have a flex dining, which gives you the option for dining times. Again, really building the mission that your cruise is your own. And the choice, again, is where and when you want to eat. Avalon Waterways is every meal is a journey. So when it comes to dining with dinner, you'll always be able to select your breakfast time. We have a late riser, an early riser, and of course we have our main breakfast as well. But now you can feel free to join us in the dining room for dinner at your leisure from 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. So if you're anything like me and have French fries at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you can join me for dinner at 8:30 in the evening. And then, of course, guests can choose onboard dining venues that suits your mood, from a breezy alfresco lunch on the Sky Grill to an elegant 4-course dinner in the glass-walled dining room. Or maybe you want to make it a little less formal in our sit-down atmosphere, taking a more casual approach to fine dining while mingling over delicious petite plates in our Panorama Bistro. Again, really, if you're looking for something more private, how about a breakfast along our open-air balcony? Or what about lunch, riverside, taking advantage of our packed picnic lunches, for you to get off the beaten path and enjoy a refreshing lunch. As I mentioned, every meal is a part of your journey. And then, of course, with Avalon Waterways as well, we now have our Adventure Center and our Adventure Host and our apps. With our Adventure Center, we have where you can have our bicycles, Nordic walking sticks, blankets to go with the picnic lunches. We have a wide variety of, a wide variety of the word I lost it there. A wide variety of product that you can sign out complimentary. And then of course we have our Avalon Adventure host, and they are there to help you maybe with, putting a little map together. If you take in signing out a bicycle, would want to do a fitness class, he or she is there to help you as well. And then in a couple of slides, we'll go over our go-ups in a little bit more detail. We also have our direct embarkation with Europe only, which allows you to go directly to the ship rather than waiting in a hotel. Your stateroom will not be available until about 4 p.m., but at least you can put your luggage down. You can feel home away from home, have something to eat, something to drink, go walk in the heart of the city and the little towns, and again, let your vacation start the way that you would like it to. And as I mentioned, when it comes to our Go apps, these are an augmented navigation system, which means you do not need Wi-Fi to use these apps. You are connected to your vacation, your itinerary, your flights, your e-documents with pre and post nights. You get notification alerts, travel guide, maps, recommendations when it comes to dining, sight, shopping, entertainment. We have a travel journal, expense calculator, a currency converter, as well as social media sharing. So it's a wonderful app. And as I mentioned, we have that with Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, or Avalon, and we ask you to download it approximately 30 days prior to departure. And we're speaking about the maps and recommendations. As I mentioned, when it comes to an augmented navigation system, you do not need Wi-Fi to download this. And it's like Google Maps. So just for example, here's your day-by-day itinerary on the first picture here on your left. And then it goes into full detail on the next picture. And then the third picture here, as you can see, you have your attractions, your restaurants, your drinking, your nightlife, entertainment, etc. And then you would just click on that, and then it takes you right to the museums, all the museums in the area, and then it looks like Google's Maps, as I mentioned. And of course, we are living in a different world at the moment. I mentioned that with Globus family of brands, we have 4 brands under our belt. We have our Globus product, which is our superior product, Coach Toy. We have our Cosmos product. We have our Avalon Waterways, and of course, we have our Monograms, which is our fully independent travel. However, I did mention that the #1 priority is the healthy and safety of our clients when it comes to comfort and peace of mind. So as I mentioned, we are living in a different world. So I just wanted to share a few things that we are doing due to the pandemic. And of course, welcome on board. Well, this is a new embarkation procedures that we're offering you a safe start to your journey. And this will include social distancing throughout embarkation, mandatory health screening, including touch-free temperature checks for all guests and crew, as well as luggage disinfection prior to onboarding with crew wearing masks and gloves. In addition to our open air staterooms, this is fantastic because we really speak about really letting the outside in. And with our ships, the air in our ships do not circulate between staterooms. It really is within an individual stateroom and mixed with fresh outside air. As well as when it comes to social distancing guidelines for guests throughout the Avalon cruise, this will include reducing ship capacity as required for more space on board per guest, introducing more dining venues for more dining space per person, crew wearing masks for the duration of the cruise during any guest interaction, providing masks for guests to wear during any event where social proximity could become an issue, including disembarkation for excursions and safety drills, and of course, adjusting ratio of guides and coaches for excursions required. As well as reducing risk with hands-free services, this will include more hand sanitizations throughout the ship, required use of hand sanitizations when leaving the ship, returning to the ship, and entering dining venues, as well as entering each public common space. And then, of course, we'll have self-serve stations, including buffets, drinks, specialty coffees, and snacks, have been replaced with cruise service. All buffets have been replaced with breakfast and lunch, have been replaced by a full range of a la carte menu choices. And of course, hourly, if not more, disinfecting of all public areas as well. So as I mentioned, our commitment is to the cleanliness ships. And we have our enhanced cleaning procedures throughout each ship, including these additional steps that go above and beyond Avalon's already strict procedures. Deep disinfectant of each stateroom between cruises, including the use of disinfectants and cleaning materials that meet the highest standards. Soft goods in each stateroom, mattress, sofa, window coverings, chairs, etc. will be disinfected between cruises. Disinfecting of all dining room areas between meals, disinfecting of all shared items like umbrellas, bicycles, and other adventure center items that I had mentioned earlier. Disinfecting of all goods prior to loading on the ship, and then of course also ongoing crew training in protective equipment use of hygiene. Speaking about crew, we do also have to focus on our crew, and they will include the medical certificate required prior to the start of the contract. They will also need daily temperature checks as well, social distancing in crew living quarters, and regular health screening. So, of course, there is safety in river cruising, and that is that you're adhering to the same group. As I mentioned, you're in the same stateroom, circulating outside air, not sharing the air between the staterooms. You're dining in the same venues, adhering to the consistent protocols. We've been in the business for 91 years. We have the VIP access, which is our skip the lines. We call them our happy lines, which, of course, makes it easier and safer. And, of course, we're always a few feet away from shore. So, again, the Globus family of brands do look after you, support you every step of the way. Now that we got that all out of all the questions, hopefully we've answered, we needed to get that out of the way. Let's move on to our cruise, our Danube Dreams, which Kate has with us, April the 14th to April the 21st, the Danube Dreams, Budapest to Deggendorf. And I really wanted to give you the highlights about going through kind of a day-by-day itinerary. So when it comes to a couple of the highlights, excursions that you can choose from, as I mentioned, you'll always have a choice of an excursions day-by-day itinerary. For example, in Rudolstein, you can enjoy a Rudolschmier coffee tasting, which is a cup of coffee with brandy, sugar, cubes, and spices. And it's lit on fire and covered with a blob of whipped cream. It's absolutely amazing. Or you can take a classic tour, which is a chance to explore iconic waterways of Amsterdam on a guided canal cruise, past stately homes in Amsterdam's golden age. Or you can take a discovery, which is really touring the incredible mechanical museum. Again, I've done this. It's absolutely beautiful. All the old instruments. It's amazing. It's a one-of-a-kind. It truly is instrumental experience. And then, of course, we also have our active excursion, which you can enjoy a hike in the vineyards with your adventure host. We were speaking about them earlier. So just to kind of go through a day-by-day itinerary, day one in Budapest and Hungary. This is really where you're going to board your overnight transatlantic flight the night prior. And we're really going to welcome you here in Hungary. Your ship, as I mentioned, is ready for boarding. Again, we will work on the air with Kate with this, all the details. And of course, we're going to overnight docking in Budapest. On day two, this is where you're going to stay. Again, you're in Budapest. You're going to have the Pearl of the Danube, the heart of Europe. You'll be able to visit the Adventure Center for today's activities with your adventure host. We spoke about him and her earlier. You can take a classic excursion, enjoy a guided city sightseeing, including the iconic Heroes Square. And then you could also, in the afternoon, choose amongst a wide offer of optional guided excursions, or take in the beauty of Budapest while enjoying some free time exploring such famous sites as the Chain Bridge, get to know the city cafes, pubs, or take a hike through the hills of the Danube. And in the evening here, we're going to overnight cruise to Bratislava. Just a couple of pictures. I always say pictures say 1,000 words. So here you can see you've got your Hero Square. We've got our Chain Bridge. And then, of course, as I mentioned, day three, this is, again, Bratislava, Slovakia. Here you'll have a classic and contemporary from cathedrals to castles. A classic tour that you can take here, as an example, is a guided city walk, including the quaint streets of the old town, the town hall, and fantastic St. Martin's Cathedral. You can enjoy some free time to take the Nordic walking sticks. We spoke about those in our adventure center from the ship and hike to Bratislavia Castle. And then, of course, you'll later enjoy live entertainment on board. Again, just a couple of pictures, the St. Martin's Cathedral. And then in day 4 in Vienna, this is where Strauss Schnitzel Strudel, a classic adventure here we have as an example is venture into the Habsburg Empire with a morning guided city tour of Vienna's glided landmarks. You can see the Imperial Palace Complex, winter residence of the Imperial family, the historic Vienna Opera House, and stunning St. Stephen's Cathedral. You may decide to take a guided optional excursion to Schönbrunn Palace. This is the former imperial summer home and vast gardens with a history spanning 300 years of the Habsburg monarchy, or really enjoy free time. And of course, why not stroll through pedestrians streets, the most famous shopping avenue in central Vienna, or maybe take a bike ride through the city and stop in a local cafe, enjoy authentic Austrian confections again, Saschtort and Stromstrudel as well. And then later in the evening, you may choose to attend an optional excursion to a Royal Waltz concert for an unforgettable evening of music and in an elegant hall. And then here, we're actually going to overnight into Dürnstein. So again, just a couple of pictures of the Vienna State Opera House. As you can see here, we have Schönbrunn Palace. As I mentioned, you can take a guided tour there as well. And then on day 5, as I mentioned in Dürnstein, the Wachau Valley. This is really where fairy tale castles, kings, and cobblestones. You can take a classic excursion. You can join a guided walk and hear the legendary tale of King Richard and the Lionheart, who imprisoned in castle during the Crusades. Or you may want to take an active excursion. Join a guided hike up to the castle ruins to take in the spectacular view of the village, the Danube, and the Wachau Valley below. And then later stretch on the sky deck as you sail through the Wachau Valley, past the vineyards and castles, and again the charming villages on your way to Milk. And then in Milk, you could actually have again, you have your choices could be where you can take a guided tour of Milk's magnificent Benedict Abbey to a marvel frescoed ceiling statues, incredible library, and an ornate pipe organ. Or maybe take a discovery, enjoy the flavors of the Wachau Valley at a wine tasting on board. Again, just a couple of pictures here. Here's the Benedict Abbey. And of course, we have the Danube River and the Wachau Valley. I actually did the excursion here. I did the active excursion, and I hiked up the Wachau Valley and was able to take this absolutely beautiful picture. And then in day 6 in Linz, you can fall in love with Linz, the legendary art, the music, the Linzer Tort. Here you can have a classic tour by taking a guided walk through the city's historic and beautiful sites along the shore of the Danube. You can see Austria's largest medieval square and the towering white marble Trinity Column. You can consider taking a full day guided optional excursion to Salzburg, which I've also done. Absolutely amazing. The city of Mozart's beautiful. Or visit a picturesque bohemian town of Zeski Krumlov. But again, feel free to enjoy the afternoon on your own, to bike along the banks of the Danube with a picnic from the ship. We spoke about that earlier as well. Or maybe a hike through Linz's beautiful nature trails to enjoy a bird's eye view of the city river below. And overnight, we are going to dock in Linz here. Again, just some absolutely beautiful pictures as well, as I mentioned. And then in here, day 7, we're going to actually go to Schlongern, Oxbow to Passau. And this is where we're going to go to the Baroque in Passau, where the Danube and the Ilz River meet. And this morning cruise through the Schlongern Oxbow, a particularly beautiful horseshoe-shaped bend of the river. And you can have a choice again of an excursion of a classic, which is joined a guided walking tour through the beautiful city of the Three Rivers, or you can take an active excursion following your Avalon Adventure host for hiking from Oberhaus along the trail down to the valley along the Itz River. And again, spending some free time before you sail to Deggendorf to walk the cobblestone streets and the Galleries Artists Alley to peek in St. Stephen's Cathedral to possibly catch a concert rehearsal. And then, of course, we're going to also spend our evening overnight cruise to Deggendorf. Again, just St. Peter's Cathedral, some beautiful pictures here. And day 8, that's the end of your cruise. So you'll enjoy breakfast on board, and then on your transfers, you will be taken to the airport. We also have a product called Cosmos, and this is really where the adventure is knocking. Cosmos offers innovative itineraries. When it comes to our product, we have our smart hotels. We have just the right amount of sightseeing, experienced tour directors. We have our motor coaches. All our motor coaches are the same when it comes to the Globus family of brands. And of course, we have the balance of sightseeing and leisure, really personalized touring here. And we have many different itineraries. We go throughout Europe, North and South America, Asia, South Pacific, and Africa. Speaking about our smart hotels, when I say smart hotels, they need to be clean, comfortable, and convenient. And again, just the right amount of sightseeing, which allows you to do it a little bit more on your own. Globus has a little bit more included sightseeing, but I know Kate really wanted you to explore a little bit more on your own as well. So when it comes to a tour that we have from June the 27th to July the 9th, this is also one of Kate's groups with us, which is England, Scotland, and Wales. So again, let's just take you through a day-by-day itinerary. We're going to start in London for 2 nights, and we're going to end in London for 1 night. So just to let you know as well, when you're arriving in London, you're going to check into your hotel. The afternoon there is time to rest, to start exploring the lively British capital. Uniformed hosts are available to help you make your stay the most of your stay. So when it comes to the London, which is our morning sightseeing with a local guide. This will include the House of Parliament, Big Ben besides the River Thames, Westminster Abbey, Whitehall's mounted house guards, Prime Minister Downing Street, and Buckingham Palace. Okay. On day 4, we actually have London's to Stratford upon Avon Coventry and to Leeds. This is where you're really going to enjoy Shakespeare's Stratford upon Avon. You're going to go to Anne Hathaway's cottage. You're going to visit in Coventry. You're going to have a nice visit there. And of course, you're past the once mighty Sherwood Forest, home of the legendary Robin Hood. And then on day 5 as well, we're also going to have Leeds in York, which is England's most complete medieval city. We're going to stand in awe in front of the great structure of York Minster. We're going to visit the Shambles, Northumberland National Park, which you'll see a section of Hadrian's Wall. And then, of course, we're going to cross the Scottish border at the Jedburgh Glimpse, the House of Mary, Queen of Scots, and see the Abbey ruins. And then, of course, we're going to go from York, Jedburgh, from Scotland to Edinburgh. And in Edinburgh here, we're going to have a full day to enjoy this Prince of Cities, sightseeing with a local guide introducing you to the 200-year-old new town. And of course, in the old town, we're going to drive up a narrow royal mile, which it is known for, which to Edinburgh Castle to admire Scotland's crown jewels, and then the afternoon at leisure. Sorry, this should be, I've skipped here for, a day here. Day 7, we're going to be at Edinburgh, St. Andrews to Braemar to Avonmore. We're going to enjoy a memorable day of sightseeing, which is going to include St. Andrews, whose Royal and Asian Golf Club has given us the rules of golfing. We're going to go to Braemar, the home of the Royal Highland Games for over 900 years. And then we're going to also see the Royal D-side. On day 9, we're going to go from Glasgow to Gretna Green, which is the Lake District of England. Liverpool, we're going to visit the lowland hills of Gretna Green, where the blacksmith would wed runaway couples. We're going to drive through the Lake District, considered to be the finest of England's national parks. And then, of course, we're all going to take a journey to Wordsworth's Grasmere, then follow the shores of Lake Windermere. And then in day 10, we're going to go from Liverpool to Chester to Ludlow to Cardiff, Wales, we're going to enjoy a day dedicated to the mountainous splendor of North Wales. And that will include a walking tour in Chester, the historic town on the River Dee, an orientation drive through the valleys to Cardiff, the capital city of Wales. And of course, we're going to see the Cardiff Castle, the Cathays Park, and other attractions as well. And then on day 11, we're going to go from Cardiff, Bath to England, Glatsbury to Widecombe, Plymouth. We're going to cross the Severn Bridge for a visit to the elegant Georgian city of Bath. We're going to head into the romantically scenic West Country and Glastonbury. We're going to visit the Widecombe in the heart of Dartmoor National Park. And in Plymouth, we're going to see the Mayflower Steps. And then on day 12, we're going to go from Plymouth to Stonehenge, Salisbury, back to London. And here we're going to take in the Thomas Hardy's Wessex, a prehistoric monument of Stonehenge. We're going to visit the Salisbury and its vast cathedral. And then, of course, we're going to have time to explore London on your own in the evening. So again, it really, on day 13, your home flight departs in the morning after breakfast as well. So when it comes to traveling in groups with, again, the Globus family of brands, really, again, there's safety in group touring. It's easy. And that's number one. We maneuver around the hassles. We know the local guides and laws. We skip the lines, as I mentioned, at sites to make it easier and safer. We know the hotels. We know the venues. We know all the right protocols. And again, you're within the same group. It's better than a hop on, hop off. And as I mentioned, Globus family of brands supports you all the way. So again, there are benefits. You're in your own bubble. We do look after all the heavy lifting. Booking is flexible. You can get a great deal, and you are with Kate with our group. And of course, we have our enhanced health and safety measures as well. One other wonderful feature I wanted to mention as well is that we also have our Peace of Mind travel. And this is a complimentary plan that we are putting on every booking in 2021. And as long as you are making a 2022 booking while we are still in this pandemic, you will receive this complimentary. So what is this complimentary, this Peace of Mind travel? This is a risk-free, hassle-free, worry-free, and strings-free that I mentioned, a Peace of Mind travel plan, and it's complimentary, as I mentioned as well. We are attaching it to all 2021 vacations, giving you the flexibility to move vacations to any other 2021 or 2022 destination, itinerary, or even another brand in our vast portfolio. No penalties, no problem, as long as it's made prior to final payment. So as I mentioned, if, for example, you have your group with us, and let's just speak about the Cosmos group, June the 27th to July the 9th, 2022, as long as you are booking it during this pandemic, again, you will receive this complimentary. So let's think outside of the box. All of a sudden you have this group, this date booked with us, and you get that wedding invitation. As long as you have not made final payment, you can change the date, the destination, or the brand in our vast portfolio. Again, so it's a wonderful complimentary plan that we have. I also want to mention, we also have our health requirements as well, and that allows you to be fully vaccinated at least 14 days prior to travel, or you need a negative COVID test within 72 hours of travel, or you need to have recovered from a confirmed COVID COVID case in the last 3 months. The last line I absolutely love. The Globus family of brands will arrange and pay for any required testing to return home. As well as Kate and I really want to thank you. Kate does have these 2 groups booked with us, and we really want to take this time. If you book within the next 2 weeks of today, so June the 29th takes us to the 13th. If you make a booking prior to July the 13th, you can save an additional $200 per couple. So again, as long as you book it within the next 2 weeks. I will say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out today. And if you have any questions for Kate or myself, I will just see if there's any questions here. Questions. All right. So, Kate, I'm hoping that you're back online and we can read this.
Yeah, yeah.
On the Globus trip, is there any option of a room to yourself?
Yeah, yeah. There's always the option of a single supplement, but it puts your cost of your trip up. So,
Absolutely.
and yeah, it's always available.
It is always available, and Kate can always look into that for you.
Yeah.
I think that's it for questions.
Well, that was good. Well, that's
Again, they can
awesome.
always reach out to you as well, Kate. So I wanted to
Absolutely.
thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and I'll let Kate take over.
And you're going to send me a recording of this so
Yes.
I can post it on the group for people who didn't show up or weren't able to show up. And again, thank you all who did show up. I really appreciate it because it does take a bit of arranging for Hilary and I to do these presentations. So we do appreciate it. And if you would like to book or you have more questions, you can give me a call or you can always email me at kate@littletravel.ca. And I guess that's all we've got for tonight. And I look forward to hearing from you all because you want to book soon. So thanks very much, guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.